Kia the gorilla had a strange pregnancy. Her baby's birth shocked everyone. People gasped when they saw it. Kia, a beloved gorilla at her zoo, had a life story that touched everyone who heard it. Born deep in Africa's rainforest, she was a perfect example of nature's quiet beauty. But tragedy came early. Hunters killed her mother when Kia was just a tiny baby, leaving her all alone in the wild. "We found her hiding in the brush," a wildlife officer said softly. She was terrified, completely alone. Rescuers stepped in and gave Kia a second chance. They brought her to the Columbus Zoo, where a caring team of zookeepers welcomed her with open arms. With patience and love, they gave her a safe space to grow up. Over time, Kia formed close bonds with her caretakers. Their connection crossed the barrier between species. They were constantly amazed by how sharp she was. "Look how she watches us," Maria whispered to John, a fellow keeper. "It's like she understands everything." By the time she turned 11, Kia had grown into a friendly and curious adult. But just days after her birthday, her caretakers noticed something strange. Her behavior started to shift. Small things at first, but enough to raise concern. Kia stopped eating. She seemed nauseous in the mornings and spent most of the day sleeping. Thinking she might be sick, the team ran tests right away. What they discovered left them stunned. "Kia is pregnant." "That's impossible, doctor," Emily gasped. "We've been so careful with her interactions." It turned out Kia had bonded with Kafu, a visiting male gorilla who had only been at the zoo for a few months. The news filled the team with a mix of shock and joy. The orphan baby they had once rescued was now about to become a mother. A new chapter in her life had begun. Led by the experienced Dr. Emily Harris, the team prepared for the journey ahead. They knew this birth could be important not just for Kia but for the entire zoo. Harris, a trusted vet with deep experience in gorilla care, worked closely with the keepers to monitor every detail of Kia's behavior. They observed her constantly, logging every small change in her habits. And soon it became clear this wouldn't be a normal pregnancy. "She's avoiding the others again today," Tom noted, scribbling in his logbook. Kia became distant. She spent hours tucked away in quiet corners of her enclosure. At the same time, her appetite surged. She ate huge meals with urgency. The zoo's top experts adjusted her diet to meet her growing needs and placed her under round-the-clock observation. It's normal for pregnant animals to pull back from their groups. It's a way of protecting the unborn. But Kia's behavior went beyond that. She stopped interacting with anyone. She stayed in one spot, avoided the other gorillas, and even ignored her human friends. "Kia, girl, it's just me," Maria said gently, holding out a banana. "Come on, take it." But Kia wouldn't move. She lay down for most of the day, weak or maybe just scared. Still, Dr. Emily refused to isolate her. She believed removing Kia from her adoptive family would only hurt her emotionally. Weeks passed, and Kia grew more restless. The keepers watched closely, preparing for the moment of birth with nervous excitement. They longed to see the old, playful Kia return. As the tension built, a new figure joined the team, Dr. Jason Miller, another vet and gorilla expert. Emily, who had guided Kia's care for years, wasn't sure what to make of Jason. His ideas clashed with hers from the start. "Your methods are outdated," Jason said during their first meeting. "We need a modern approach." "I've been doing this for 20 years, Emily replied firmly. They disagreed on everything: diet, enrichment, daily routines. One big issue was gorilla social time. Emily believed that allowing gorillas to freely bond was essential for their mental well-being. Jason disagreed. He feared fights and injuries and pushed for tight control over their interactions. "You're just making them too dependent on humans," he argued. "And you're isolating social animals," she shot back. When it came to Kia, Jason felt vindicated. Her withdrawal from others, he said, proved his point. He pushed to separate her entirely, which went against Emily's approach. Emily tried to gently reintroduce Kia to her old companions. Jason, meanwhile, created a hidden space for her and physically blocked the others, especially Kafu, the baby's father. from getting close. The split in philosophy divided the whole team. Keepers felt torn between the comfort of Emily's tried-and-true ways and the push for Jason's stricter methods. Then suddenly, everything changed. Kia went into labor, much earlier than anyone expected. "It's too soon," Tom shouted, racing from the enclosure. "Get both doctors now." Some keepers joked that Kia just wanted them to stop arguing, but the vets knew better. Something serious was happening, and fast. As the team rushed in, the emergency pushed everything else aside. For now, the debates and disagreements didn't matter. All that did was Kia and the fragile life on its way. "We need to work together now, Emily said firmly. "Forget our disagreements." For the first time, the two doctors truly stood side by side. Their past arguments faded away as they focused on one shared goal: helping Kia. But the birth wasn't going smoothly. Kia groaned and roared in pain for hours, but there was still no sign of the baby. Watching her struggle, both doctors grew more and more concerned. Time crawled by as Kia bravely fought through each intense contraction. "Something's wrong, Jason said quietly. "The baby should have come by now." The zookeepers stayed calm, offering quiet support to the mother-to-be. In the wild, animals go through labor without help, and vets usually avoid stepping in unless it's critical. But this time it was clear Kia needed help. The doctors made the difficult choice to intervene for her safety and the baby's. They stood together side by side. Their earlier fights didn't matter now. All that mattered was saving a life or two. Carefully, Emily examined Kia, and what she found left her stunned. "It's placenta previa," she whispered to Jason. "The placenta's blocking the birth canal." It was a serious complication. Kia couldn't give birth naturally. With the placenta covering the cervix, the baby had no way out. Surgery was the only option. As Kia's contractions grew stronger and more painful, the team quickly prepared for an emergency C-section. It was rare. C-sections on gorillas hardly ever happen, but they had to try. There was no other way. "We have no choice, doctor," Jason said, nodding. "Let's begin immediately. Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us. Thank you." Because this procedure was so rare, the zoo team recorded it to teach and guide vets and researchers around the world. Everyone held their breath as the doctors began. The room was tense. Nervous eyes followed every move. And then, cheers broke the silence. Emily gently lifted a tiny female gorilla from Kia's womb. The team erupted with emotion. "She's perfect," Maria whispered, eyes full of wonder. But the joy quickly turned into disbelief. Just minutes later, Emily reached in again and pulled out a second baby. Screams filled the room. "Another one?" Tom gasped. It was almost unheard of. Female gorillas usually give birth to just one baby every 4 to 6 years, and only a few over their entire lives. Twins are incredibly rare, and surviving twins? Even rarer. "I can't believe it, Emily and Jason each examined a newborn, then gave a thumbs up. Both were breathing. Both were healthy. Kia had given birth to 2 perfect babies. A miracle. The room burst into applause. People clapped, shouted, cried. After the surgery, Kia was moved to rest and heal in a private area. The twins were carefully monitored by the team. Though small and fragile, they had strong lungs and quickly learned to feed from bottles. "This one eats just like Kia," John smiled as he gently fed one of the twins. A few days later, Kia finally woke up and met her babies for the first time. Even though she hadn't seen them after birth, her motherly instincts kicked in instantly. She rushed to them and wrapped her arms around both. The team stood in silence, watching a miracle unfold in front of them. What had started as a small zoo story quickly became global news. When the world heard about Kia's twins, the reaction was overwhelming: shock, joy, and awe. It was an incredibly rare moment in gorilla history, and it had major meaning for wildlife conservation. In 30 years of research, one visiting expert said, "I've never seen this." Twin gorilla births were almost unheard of, and now researchers had the chance to observe one up close. Dozens of scientists, vets, and animal experts flocked to the zoo, eager to study this rare family. With gorillas endangered by hunting, deforestation, and disease, this birth meant more than just joy, it meant hope. It showed that, with the right care, it was possible to help these animals thrive. Kia, once an orphan, had now become a mother of two. She cared for them gently but attentively. Researchers watched in awe as she divided her attention between both babies, never favoring one over the other. "Look how she balances it, Emily whispered. "It's incredible." This wasn't just heartwarming. It was groundbreaking. Scientists carefully documented every moment. How Kia held her babies, how she fed them, how she responded to their cries. They were learning things no one had seen before. Medical checks were also done on the twins. The team measured their growth, ran genetic tests, and checked for health issues. The data would help in the future, not just for Kia's twins, but for other gorillas around the world. The news inspired a fresh wave of support for gorilla protection. Kia's babies became symbols of survival, proof that, with care and effort, there was still hope for endangered species. But even after such an incredible event, things weren't going well behind the scenes at Columbus Zoo. Financial trouble loomed large, threatening its very future. "We might have to close exhibits if things don't improve," the director warned during a tense staff meeting. The zookeepers, who had always given their hearts to the animals, now struggled just to keep operations running. Amid the pressure, one voice rose with hope. Mike Reynolds, a senior zookeeper who had worked at the zoo for years and cared deeply about its future. "I have a plan," Mike said with quiet confidence. "Kia's story could be our salvation." With the zoo in urgent need of funds, Mike set out to build a new path forward. Using his experience and understanding of what moved people, he crafted a bold fundraising plan, centered around the miracle of Kia and her newborn twins. Everyone immediately understood why. The story was extraordinary. As Kia slowly recovered from surgery, her twin babies continued to thrive, something almost unheard of in the gorilla world. Twin births are rare enough, but twin survival? That was nearly impossible. "These two are defying every statistic, dear," Emily told the staff. "Many mothers ignore one twin. Some babies are born with defects, but these two, they're fighters. Every day they live is a miracle. People will come from far and wide just to see them." Mike got to work. He partnered with the marketing team, reached out to the media, and invited the public into the story. He knew this wasn't just about raising money. It was about sharing something hopeful and rare. "This isn't just a zoo story," he said during the first press conference. "This is a conservation miracle." News outlets jumped at the chance to share the story. Headlines and video clips spread quickly, capturing hearts across the world. The buzz created a surge of interest in Columbus Zoo, and it gave Mike's fundraising plan a massive boost. At the zoo, excitement grew, but so did concern. The team worried about the effect so much attention might have on Kia and her babies. "Will all these people stress Kia and the twins?" Maria asked in a meeting. "We'll manage it carefully, dear," Jason replied. Limited viewing hours, small visitor groups, and total quiet during feeding times. Interviews became part of daily life. Keepers and doctors shared what they had been through, from the earliest signs of Kia's pregnancy to the moment her babies entered the world. Their stories were raw and real, filled with challenges, risks, and love. Visitors poured in. Families, school groups, animal lovers, everyone wanted to see the miracle gorilla family. The zoo, once quiet and struggling, was full of life again. "We've had more visitors this week than we did in the entire last quarter," the ticket manager said with a smile. The extra income helped stabilize the zoo's finances. For the first time in months, staff members felt hope. And the story of Kia, Mosuba, and Makomo was doing more than saving a zoo. It was inspiring the world to care more deeply about endangered animals. As the media frenzy began to settle, the changes it sparked remained. People kept visiting. Donations kept coming in. The attention turned into lasting awareness and real support for the zoo's conservation mission. "I never thought gorilla twins would save this place," Mike said. watching a group of children press their faces to the glass, pointing at the twins with wide eyes. Today, Kia and her babies, Mosuba and Makomo, are alive and thriving. They continue to amaze visitors and teach researchers about resilience, motherhood, and hope. The threat to gorillas in the wild is still very real. Poaching, habitat loss, and disease continue to push them toward extinction. But thanks to the work of dedicated teams in zoos, sanctuaries, and conservation programs, their future looks just a little brighter. Did you enjoy the story? Do you believe miracles can happen in the animal kingdom? Tell us what you think in the comments below. And if you loved Kia's journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Sometimes the most unexpected lives bring the greatest hope.